What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Bernie's Bets. I'm Bernie, let's make some bets. Today, I'll be discussing 5 of my favorite sleepers in this year's NFL Draft, why I'm high on them, and why some are fading them. Let's get started. My number 5 favorite sleeper in this year's NFL Draft is Joseph Osai out of Texas. Osai was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria, before coming to the States in 2009. In Nigeria, Osai was an avid soccer player, and you can see shades of it in his game, the way that he moves at his size. Osai is one of the most dominant athletes that we have seen in draft history, ranking in the 99th percentile in both vertical and broad jump. He's best used in a 3-4 Sam role where you can utilize his explosion and burst on the edge. 2020 was Osai's first year in a pass rush predominant role, and he did not disappoint, registering 5.5 sacks and 15.5 tackles for a loss in only 9 games. He's still raw and has room to improve in the run game, but with his work ethic, elite athleticism, and humble upbringing, I see Osai becoming an absolute star in this league. Osai most reminds me of Jason Pierre-Paul coming out of USF and is someone I'm confident will outperform their draft position. My number 4 favorite sleeper in this year's draft is Amari Rodgers out of Clemson. If you see my top 10 receivers video, you already know how much I love Rodgers' game. Rodgers is one of the toughest receivers in the draft. At just 5'9", he plays much larger and never shies away from contact. What I love most about his game is his versatility. He can line up in the slot, in motion, and even at running back. When you have guys like that, who the defense never quite know what they're going to do, it puts major pressure on coordinators that can help generate mismatches. Rodgers was Trevor Lawrence's top target this season, and that's a big deal for a wide receiver powerhouse like Clemson. With his toughness from the slot and run after the catch ability, Rodgers most reminds me of Jarvis Landry coming out of LSU. Rodgers needs to go to a team that utilizes him as a chess piece, and I expect him to be a great mid-round pick. My number 3 sleeper in this year's NFL Draft is Charles Snowden out of Virginia. I stumbled upon Snowden going through Caleb Farley tape, and I ended up going on a rabbit hole of focusing just on Snowden. At 6'6", 232, he's a long outside linebacker, best rushing the passer and defending the pass. He has a wiry frame right now that limits him as a run defender, but he has the build to pack on muscle and add weight. My favorite part about Snowden's game is the amount of heart he plays with every single down. He plays with an attitude you love to see out of your rush linebacker and sets the tempo for the entire unit. He's best used as a 3-4 Sam, which may limit the amount of teams willing to take him, but in the right system, he has the ability to thrive. With his length and athleticism, he most reminds me of Anthony Barr, and I think he'll be a valuable addition to any defense. The offensive and defensive lines are my favorite positions to watch come draft season, and this year especially has a bunch of guys with bad intentions. But out of every lineman in this draft, my favorite tape to watch is Spencer Brown out of Northern Iowa. Spencer Brown was a 0-star recruit coming out of high school, and he received only one Division I offer to play FCS ball at Northern Iowa. He originally came in as a tight end, but he wisely made the switch to right tackle and immediately became the team's starter. He played every down like he's still trying to earn a spot and is an absolute mauler in the run game, routinely putting players on their backside and making lanes at the second level. He can get tall in the pass game, but even when he's off his base, he can use his length to get the last second push the quarterback needs. He's a rare athlete for a tackle and still has room to fill out his frame. He's strictly a right tackle, which some teams may devalue, but for the team that does take him, they will have an immediate upgrade to their running attack and an upside pass blocker. With his elite athleticism and small school path to the league, I compare Spencer Brown most to Teron Armstead out of Arkansas Pine Bluff. My favorite sleeper in this year's draft is Michael Carter out of UNC. Michael Carter is looked at as the RB1B to Javonte Williams' RB1A, and I get it, but the numbers are significantly closer than you might think. In the past 2 seasons at North Carolina, Javonte Williams had 2,073 yards rushing and 443 receiving. Michael Carter totaled 2,143 yards rushing and 421 receiving. It was about as even a split as you can possibly get, with a slight edge going to Michael Carter. And some people are talking Javonte up as the RB1 overall. Meanwhile, Michael Carter is routinely mocked in the 3rd round. He was the lightning to Williams' thunder and is already comfortable in that ever-important role. He's being faded because he might not be the feature back that you can run into the ground, but he's still a great dual-threat weapon who is always dangerous to score once the ball's in his hands. Michael Carter's short shuttle and 3-cone times were both in the 90th percentile of combine participants ever, which just highlights how shifty he is with the ball in his hands. I see Carter filling a James White kind of role in the league and will be a dangerous weapon added to any offense. So that's all I got for you today, guys. If you enjoyed the content, please remember to like and subscribe. You don't always have to bet with Bernie, but when you bet with Bernie, you bet to win big.